we are giving away a free Steam key to the story-based adventure game The Silent Age. In this addictive game, you assume the role of a regular, unsuspecting janitor who sees himself confronted with the daunting task to save all of mankind. Simply answer the question at the beginning of every video to be entered for the giveaway running until July 31st. You can enter as many times as you want by answering every new question in order to increase your chances. Let's get it. The question for this video is going to be, who is Anduin Wryn's father? Because Anduin's showing up today, because today we're continuing the budget series with the Budget Priest deck. And this deck, to be honest, has potential that's through the roof. It's a combo priest. It's a combo / dragon priest. And the basic idea of the entire deck is to get one minion, buff its health up a lot with Power Word Shield. You can show the cards if you want to.
Yeah.
Power Word Shield and Divine Spirit. And then setting its attack equal to that with the Inner Fire. So the Divine Spirit Inner Fire combination is the key combination to winning games. Assuming you get, let's say, just a Tar Creeper, right? 3-mana Tar Creeper, it's a 3/5. If we Divine Spirit that twice and Inner Fire it once, which is another 5 mana, it's a 20/20.
Yes.
That's insane. So that's how it's gonna work. We gotta do that and hopefully kill our opponent in one shot. There's a lot of interesting stuff happening in that. Fun fact, if you care to look at it, JJ and myself played a tournament against each other a while back, in which I ran a very similar deck against him and actually beat him in like turn 6.
Yeah. Oh god, that was
exactly that combination. So you feel free, JJ, to put an info card to that video right about now.
Yeah.
So this is the deck that we're running. It is fairly budget friendly. The only epics or somewhat expensive cards in there are the Shadow Visions. Those are really key cards. So those are the first priority to craft if you don't have them yet.
You can run it without.
You can run it without, but
significantly better.
It helps you a lot because you can find the Divine Spirits, you can find the Inner Fires, you can find whatever you need in terms of removal, the Spirit Lash, the Shadow Word Death, healing may be important, so you can find anything that you need with the Shadow Visions. That's why they're so important.
Of course, there's always little adjustments you can make. You can replace some of the cards. Like Divine Hymn is not really necessary.
If you're facing Paladin, you definitely want to consider a second Spirit Lash, though.
Yeah.
And Duskbreaker is also one of the key cards in those aggro matchups, specifically against Paladin. A Nightscale Matriarch is just a really good card in general. It's a dragon proc. We do heal a lot, so we summon a lot of dragons, and it itself is a really good target for the combination.
With 9 health, yeah.
Yeah. Radiant Elemental is a key card, somewhat of a key card, because it reduces the cost of your spells by 1. And probably the first 2 or 3 additions to this deck, if you're beginning to gain the dust to craft them, would be Primordial Drakes and Lyra the Sun Shard.
Yes.
Because Lyra allows you to do a lot of crazy stuff. So
especially with all of your 1 and 2 mana spells that with Radiant Elemental become 0 and 1 mana spells.
You could be cycling all the way. So let's get into game. So let's see if we can show off the burst potential of this deck a little bit. We're facing a Warlock. So first thought, like the first idea you need to get is even Warlock.
Yes.
All the time. So Shadow Visions is a really good keep, just in general. It's extremely valuable. I'm keeping Power Word Shield as well.
It's draw and it's part of the combo.
Exactly. So what I would like to also get would be Northshire Cleric is good, Shadow Ascendant is good. Circle Healing isn't that good in the beginning because we do want a minion to pop down. But it's really about that one turn where
it's also not even.
It's not even, no. So it might be Cube or Zoo. Zoo is relatively rare. I assume it's Cube. Heal his face. Rule number 1 of playing Priest: when nothing has happened on your turn 2, heal his face.
Assuming he's not damaged.
Yes, that's why I said when nothing has happened yet. But sometimes they will. If it's an even lock, he's gonna tap on turn 1. Don't heal his face. Give me Shadow Visions. We'll play it right now.
I guess we could have done it last turn.
See, of those, I will take the other Shadow Visions. Because we have the Inner Fire, we have
Inner Fire, we don't need Silence right now.
Not at the moment.
And we do definitely want to get our Divine Spirit. Specifically, I'll take Power Word Shield.
Yes, it's okay. Divine Spirit is typically the card that you're looking for with the Shadow Visions. Sometimes, if you have a lot of health buff, it's that last Inner Fire that you want. Another card that you can tack in with this would be the Crazy Alchemist, which swaps the attack and health for minion, which would allow you to pull off a similar combo if that minion can already attack in that turn. Yep.
You could also,
So now Power Word Shield.
Yes.
It's okay. Lightspawn is another one that you can include.
Because that doesn't need inner fire.
That is true.
Because it has a built-in.
It has a built-in inner fire. It's a 0/5 and its attack is equal to its health. I think we could put Duskbreaker down. And then Power would shield it up.
Yes.
So let's do that.
We can do that. It also gives us some draw, which is really the more important part of the shield right now. It allows the minion itself to survive.
Okay, the second inner fire. Whatever. We can use it. That means that one of the inner fire is more expendable now. That's okay.
Which is definitely something to consider for value trades, for example.
Dreadlord is
trades.
So the thing with Priest is in general that 4 attack minions are a bit of a pain in the backside because we can neither pain nor death it. In this case, Bone Drake is a hell of a draw, though.
Yeah, because that trades with it.
Mm-hmm. And it's a dragon for hand. Yeah.
Because the Dreadlord triggers once before we can actually...
Okay, so we got a control warlock.
Alright.
I think we have a fairly good chance of beating that. And he's gonna Dark Pact it too, isn't he? No, you just dropped a coin. Cool. So, Divine Spirit, there it is. The Rin...
Right, because the Rin Death Rattle plus draw would otherwise have overdrawn him.
We can trade into the Rin.
We could Matriarch and
Circle Feeling. That's really good. So that'll summon a 3/3.
And it will heal our Bone Drake back to full.
And listen, next turn is Power Shield, Divine Spirit, Inner Fire, bang him in the face with the Matriarch if he doesn't take it out. And it's like it's over 2/3 of the damage we need.
Yeah.
It'll be 22 right now.
I was trying to calculate right now how much mana that would take
with the other stuff,
to heal it first.
But with the other stuff, with the other stuff on the board?
Yeah.
See, this is now, we have now a concrete lethal threat. With all cheap stuff. And he probably knows that's why he hits it in there. So he doesn't want to leave a minion with too high of a health up on the board. Which is sensible to play, by the way. He knows what he's doing. But that threat that's always there, that's really a pain to deal with, specifically when you're trying to develop your own stuff. He's going to Spellstone it without the need to heal. See, that's how much he already respects it. We should hit the Doomsayer. So I think in this case, just hit the Doomsayer.
Yeah. And then, are we going to hit the Doomsayer and then Spirit Lash? That makes sense, right?
Yes.
Because that takes out both of them.
Yeah. Hit that in the face.
And then
heal up the Bone Drake.
Yeah, because Whelp doesn't really
If you want to,
matter.
you can put Power Word Shields on him.
Yes. Because of Spellstones, it doesn't die.
Let's put at least
easily.
one Shadow Vision. Let them play the Shadow Visions now. Because now the Divine Spirit... Yeah. Yep. And go. Don't. Nope. Because we don't want to make it too obvious, but we have no lethal setup next turn. So... That's the threat. That's really the threat. And he knows it, and he's got to deal with it. It's still at 5.
I was about to say that doesn't
so
matter.
It doesn't even change it. And it looks like it's just over.
4, 6, 24. If I heal it first, it's definitely
That's fine. Heal it first. And that's the power of this deck. And trust me, it's fun to play. It really is fun to play. Divine Spirit, all of a sudden, 28-28. Well played. Sounds Dreadlord. So that's what you have to deal with when facing this deck, which is why it makes it extremely powerful to play. And on a budget, there's hardly a better deck, let alone a better Priest deck, for this type of budget to craft in the entire game. Yeah, so for beginners, the strategy is fairly straightforward, fairly simple.
I think the only other budget deck that's kind of on par with it is the Midrange Hunter, which we've also already shown.
Yes. We've shown the Midrange Hunter, we've done the Tempo Mage so far, which is also really powerful.
Which is rather powerful, but not quite as good as the presets.
Don't get me wrong. All of these decks in this entire playlist hold merit.
Yes.
So we're not going to give you any scrub decks. We're gonna give you good decks with every class, and each of them have their own similar way of winning. This one happens to be extra explosive and fantastical, which is why I like it a lot.
I mean, it's a combo deck. It just kills you out of nowhere.
Yeah, combo decks are fun. And specifically if you don't know what's coming, you're facing it, you're playing against it for the first time, you're like, wow, that seems crazy. And then when you start using it and you're winning like this,
the one thing that I have to say as a con about this deck, not to drag it down or anything, but this isn't as beginner friendly as some of the other, as a matter of fact, as all the other decks that we played so far.
Yes.
Because you need to know how to react to certain minions.
That's true.
Keep one minion alive to then later buff it. You know, there's a bit more strategy involved than with the Midrange Hunter or the Tempo Mage, which are rather straightforward.
Yeah. Though this is still not at the highest level of complication by any means.
This isn't the most complicated deck ever, but you do have to think about your plays a lot more.
Yeah, sure, I agree with that. It's not like a control deck where you need to be thinking ahead everything and need to be basically considering every single card in every deck, but the winning idea is simple enough.
The most important thing that I have to say is that of course, we've said that before and we've gotten shit for it as well, tend to play a lot of lower ranks because I never grind the ladder, really. Mm-hmm. One thing that I see people play similar decks to this and screw up horribly because for some reason they think they have to throw out their buffs before they're ready to pull the combo off. So they'll throw away the Inner Fire for some value or the Divine Spirit to keep their minions alive without actually killing you.
Yeah, so that's, for example, pro tip, that's not a good idea. So if you put a 4/28 Twilight Drake out on the board and you leave it there for a turn, you're gonna eat a Siphon Soul and you've wasted all your buffs. So that's not a good idea. So you want to be resourceful with your stuff. Even the Shadow Visions play that we made on 2, or was it 3?
We made it on 3 because we healed face on 2, which might not have been the best idea in retrospect.
Okay.
But hey, we won anyways.
Yeah, we won. So
we played suboptimally and we won.
Even that play wasn't necessarily a force there. We could have kept that and seen, like, later in the game what exactly do we need from that Shadow Vision.
Right, because that's another point, because if you already have a lot of the health buffs on your hand, but you don't have the Inner Fire, you'll be happy to have that Shadow Visions and not have used it on Divine Spirit if you really need Inner Fire in the moment.
Because that can always happen.
Because there's no use in having like 2 Power Word Shields and 3 Divine Spirits without Inner Fire.
Exactly. So thank you for watching the video. I hope you learned something about this, and maybe you decide to try out this deck. If you've tried out the other ones, let us know your experiences with those so far, and maybe this one too once you've tried it. Leave a like if it helped you out in any sort of way, and maybe give us some inspiration for other decks that you want us to present, or what class you wanted to see specifically, what do you think about those decks. And go back to the beginning of the video and answer the question to win the Silent Age as a free game on Steam, which I highly recommend, by the way. We are gonna see you next time, JJ.
That's it?
That's it.